Okay, I'm going to do this review really quickly before I have to go. So we're going to list transformations over here, and I'm also going to throw in the vertex so we can make a T-chart and then plot our points. First of all, you're going to read these left to right because each part has a job. Just like in our notes, remember this guy? I think my marker's a little too big. It's better. Let me save that. Okay, we'll try that again. Going to read these left to right, just like in your notes. Each one of these little pieces of the vertex form have properties. The K controls the up and down. The H controls the left and the right. The A controls that stretch or the shrink. And the negative out front controls if it reflects. So if I was reading this left to right, the first thing I come across is this negative, which means this whole equation is reflecting for the x-axis. That negative says it's reflecting over the x-axis. The fact that I don't have parentheses or nothing is being added to the back, that means my vertex is 0, 0. So when I make my T-chart down here, vertex is always in the middle. I'm going to do 2 above and 2 below. These are inputs. I can plug these in to get my outputs. So if I'm plugging this in, remember you're using parentheses where the variable is. So negative 2 squared is 4, but if you throw in that negative, it makes it a negative 4. And again, if we have, no, I don't have my calculator on this computer. I thought I did. Give me a second, I'm going to pause it. There we go, now I have my calculator. Y'all can't see it. Boom, there it is. And again, you plug it in like you see it. 4, negative 4. So this one would be negative 4. This would be negative 1, negative 1, negative 4. When you plot points, x is first. You go to the left, negative 2, 1, 2, down 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Negative 1, negative 1, 0, 0, 1, 1, 1, negative 1, and then 2, negative 4. And remember, this is a parabola. Just make it look better than I did. Again, you can pause the video whenever you need to, rewind it, and don't forget to smash that subscribe button. All right, this guy, again, left to right. I don't see a negative. I do see parentheses. I have to think opposite. So we're not going to the left, we're going to the right. Right by 3. I'm not going up, I'm going down because it's a minus 1. Which means my vertex is a positive 3 for the x and a negative 1 for the y. Why? Because I went to the right 3 and down 1. That is going to be my vertex, so those are my middle values right here. And then again, 2 below, 2 above. Plug this in. What do we have here? X minus 3 squared minus 1. These are inputs, those are outputs. So if I were to get my calculator, again, parentheses, my x, in this situation is a 1, minus 3 squared minus 1, we get 3. Back to the Casio, change that 1 to a 2 because it's our next input. 0. And since this is symmetrical, I should get a 0 back when I change that 2 to a 4. And I do. I already know what 5 will be. It's going to be 3. Plot your points. 1, 3. 2, 0. 3, negative 1. And again, it should mirror it. Oh, someone's at my door. All right. And then connect your dots. Boom. Number 3, again, left to right. Came across a 3. That means it's greater than 1, so we're stretching. 3. There's no parentheses. And then we have the plus 2. Up 2. Which makes our vertex, no parentheses, x is 0, y up to 2. 0, 2. 2 above, or excuse me, 2 below, 2 above. And again, we're plugging this in. So 3x squared plus 2, 3x squared plus 2. Let me just check to make sure. Yep. So I'd plug in a negative 2. And again, if you had your calculator, all you got to do is go, oh, I got to delete all of this. 3, plugging it in just like I see it. 14, holy smokes. Probably won't be able to plot that one. How about the negative 1? 5. And again, I'm pretty sure this is going to be reflected, excuse me, symmetric, so I know what my next points are. I'm going to skip the 14s, but I will plot the rest. So negative 1, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 0, 2. Symmetric should be right there. Super skinny parabola. I think this was my last example for this. Again, left to right. We have a negative. It means we're reflecting. We have a quarter. That's between 0 and 1. So we shrink. Shrink by a quarter. X plus 3 means we're going to the left. Plus 2 up. Ooh, don't like that. 2. Which means our vertex went left, so negative 3. We went up, so positive 2. Negative 3, 2. Negative 3, 2. Again, these are inputs. We input them and we'll get, oh boy, that should be a 2, sorry. We should get our outputs. So for kicks and grins, I'm just going to simply grab my calculator. And again, plug it in just like I see it. In this case, I'm going to use a negative 5 for my x. It's 3 squared. Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. Plus 3. There we go. Squared. Plus 2. Juan. Again, since I'm using my Casio, I can change that 5 easily to a 4. If we get a decimal, 1.75. Again, if I were to plug this in, I know I'll get the same results because it's symmetric. Negative 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 4, 17.5, that's 3/4 up the way. Negative 3, 2, right there. Again, 3/4 up the way. And negative 1, 1. This guy's pretty wide. Makes sense because it's a quarter. And it's negative, so it's opening down. All right, this one we're just writing equations. You saw this on the not Desmos, what was it on? IXL. So, key part here is this vertex. My vertex for this one is negative 3, 1. Meaning, in my parentheses, it wouldn't be a minus 3, it'd be a plus 3. And then the plus 1 for the y. When it comes to figuring out the coefficient, I was telling y'all to just go over 1 and down 1, or in this case, until you hit the line. So the fact that it went down 1 means I'm probably going to need a negative out front. We don't need the 1. And if you wanted to test your equation, make sure it's the right equation, go back to that idea of inputs. If I plug this point in, which is negative 1, negative 3, if I plug in a negative 1, my answer should be a negative 3. So if I get my calculator, negative parentheses, we're plugging in a negative 1 because that's our input, plus 3 squared plus 1. I already know my answer. It should be a negative 3 because that's my output. Check. This is the right equation. Biggest thing here is to getting your vertex, and you can be checking for your leading coefficient, the A. Again, vertex. I know it's hard to tell, but that's 1, and that's a 3. So 1, 3. I went to the right, so it should be x minus 1 plus 3 because we went up. If I count over 1 and then go up to the line, I went up 2. So my leading coefficient is 2. Boom. You always go over 1 unit and then go to the line, whichever way it's at. Count your squares. I know this was backwards, so we're going to skip it. I don't want to confuse any of you. Vertex, this one be a 0, negative 1, meaning there is no parentheses. We didn't go left or right because that's a 0. It go down 1. So coefficient, we'll go over to the right 1 unit, go to the line. I went up 1. Leading coefficient needs to be a 1, but we don't need it. So I'm just going to go straight to my box because that's my answer. Oh, Kahoot game, and I guess that's it. Try to make this really short and simple, or short and quick, short and nice, short and sleep. I don't know. All right, ta-ta.